Upgrades.
Hey everyone, Jedi Mike here, and I'm back with another video. Today I'm going over the new film Eleanor the Great. This film premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival. This is going to be my review. The film goes as follows. After the death of her oldest friend, 94-year-old Eleanor moves from Florida to New York City for a fresh start, wandering into a support group for Holocaust survivors. She tells a tale that takes on a dangerous life of its own. This is directed by Scarlett Johansson, starring June Squibb, also Aaron Kellerman, also Chiwetel Ejiofor. And yes, this was a really entertaining film. This film surrounds character of June, played by June Squibb, Eleanor, who is basically playing a woman who's roommates with a Holocaust survivor, and she's listening to all her stories and everything that she experienced during the Holocaust. And unfortunately, in the beginning of the film, that she passes away. Then when she goes back to living with her daughter and her grandson, her daughter recommends to join a support group, and basically she tells the support group, which happens to be a Holocaust survivor support group. She goes in and basically shares the stories her best friend shared to her as if it was her own. And yeah, and basically the reason for it is not just a sense of getting some sympathy from other people, but really telling those stories is something that actually brings her closer to her best friend that she just lost, right? And then we get introduction to another character, Nina, played by Aaron Kellerman, who basically is a young student who is trying to do a project about Holocaust survivors, and then she grows a relationship with Eleanor, and but she believes that this is actually her stories, right? But then later throughout the film, you keep in secrets, and ultimately they'll get revealed. But this was a very personal story. As someone that has friends who are part of the Jewish community, I understand that this event is definitely tied to their history in a very emotional way. And The stories that are being shared, and the overall support around other survivors as well, and people in the Jewish community, definitely is just a sight to see, just people overcoming that traumatic event throughout history. And I felt that I thought Scarlett Johansson did a very good job. It's just terms of much as this is a very dark film in terms of the material, it's also very funny in terms of, has a sense of satire. June Squibb, she does a fantastic job in terms of balancing drama with humor and comedy, with her just being very snarky. And she's very talented, but she has great chemistry with Aaron Kellerman character Nina, who is the daughter of a popular journalist, Roger Davis, who played by Chiwetel Ejiofor. And seeing the reasons why she wanted to do this project so much is because, again, she's also just lost her mother, and again, she's also just trying to seek some validation of being a journalist, just like her father. And yet their relationship is rifted and stuff. So there's a lot of areas of being pulled emotionally from all these characters, but the heart of this film is friendship. The fact of ones that have passed, and the ones that you have today and that you hold close to, right? But also, where people are sharing stories to able to grieve, in a way properly, but also to honor people that have not been here, or who has passed physically in this world, but yet they still lived on with us, telling their stories of who they are and their experiences and stuff. And I felt Scarlett Johansson did it with care and respect. Definitely, I think this is maybe her directorial debut. I would love to see her do more films in the future. And I think, again, they did a really good job of balancing the comedy with the dramatic subject material. But I really, again, the standout of this film is June Squibb and Aaron Kellerman, who have amazing chemistry. Who I would just love to, continue watching a film, just going back and forth with their banter. I felt, again, this was a very wholesome film, and even though as you start off this film in a way that feels kind of like dark in just terms of the events that have transpired, you leave this film happy and joyful and wanted to celebrate life. Especially, it's important that we have those films now today, because there's a lot of stuff in this world that try to steal our joy. But even when we go through traumatic experiences, there's ways we can able to properly grieve by friendship, by our relationships with each other. And even the fact of this woman, Eleanor is technically lying, as masking as someone that this is her own stories. They did it in a way where, again, it was just something that she had willing to accept that, hey, no, these are not the reason why I'm doing this, not because I'm trying to seek no validation, is the fact that I'm actually just trying to honor my friend. Just because I'm telling these stories, it feels closer to her, and I just lost her, and I'm still grieving. And again, the stages of grief go in many different ways. Denial, regret, and so all the other things and stuff. So the stages of grief, and I think they did that very well in the structure of this film, going from the second act to the third act of this film, wrapping things up. But I'll say, yeah, Scarlett Johansson did a fantastic job directing this project, and I love to see what she does next. But that concludes my review of Eleanor the Great from the Toronto International Film Festival. Make sure you subscribe button, comment, like, and share, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Upgrades.